Our choir. Yeah. And now it's back. All right. Thank you. Boy, sitting there just thinking about the memories of all the people that I've lost last year and the world has lost last year. Just really, it opens my heart. You know, and in gratitude. Like, it began last year with my niece, Leslie, who was very close to me, that I talked to on Monday night, and on Wednesday she passed away. Then COVID showed up, and a lot of people passed away. And then our house burned down. It's like, well, that was a memory. A lot of you have been to parties at our house. And then Kim Massey, one of my dear friends and one of the favorites here at CSL, she passed away. And a couple weeks later, our dog Coach passed away. And then recently my brother passed away. So I am like, during that song of memories, it's like acknowledging them, thanking them for having been in my life, knowing that this is a journey. Everything cannot stand the same. I've said that for years and years. Everything won't stay the same. It's about movement and change and growth. So looking back at 2020, I wouldn't change a thing because I learned so much. Because the key to last year is, how do we grow spiritually? How do we let go of people, places, and things? I've always said that. It's like, yep, I got rid of people and places and things last year. And it's a blessing. Because if I can't look at everything as a blessing, then I don't realize that that power of God is my very life. And that something greater is guiding me through this experience. Dr. Ernest Holmes, in this thing called You, talks about the magnificence of who we are. Talks about that gem that's within us. Imagine your favorite gemstone. Imagine it real big in your hand. What color is it? Diamond. Okay. Mine's purple. Emerald. Okay. Just imagine it in your hands really big. And then imagine that you get tired of holding it because it's so heavy, and you put it down by the side of your yard or the driveway or the street, and you go about your business. And people drive by it, and they go into mud puddles, and it gets covered with mud and sleet and snow and ice. And then all of a sudden, people come by and go, oh, that looks ugly. And they get paint out and they paint it. And all of a sudden, it's pretty again. And yet, underneath all of the dirt and the paint and the glue is that beautiful, perfect gemstone. And that's who you are. You are that perfect gemstone that's been covered up with beliefs from family, from culture, from teachers, from religion, that all those beliefs have covered it up. So sometimes you don't even know who you are. You really begin believing that you are all those beliefs that have covered it up. You begin believing you're not worthy. You begin believing that nothing good can ever happen. When I first came in to the Center for Spiritual Living, which was called, I believe, First Church of Religious Science here in St. Louis, it was over in Clayton. It was in 1972. And I had gone through a painful divorce. And I was looking for something, but I didn't look for it in the Catholic Church because I had never found it. I was one of the kids that went to Mass every single day. So I had my first spiritual experience when I was like 14, but I didn't quite have words for it. I just knew it happened. And I was taking a class in Maplewood on how to read auras and how to hold things and decide who they came from and how to do past life readings on people. It was this really weird, neat lady that had this 12-week class I saw in a little teeny newsletter, and I signed up for it. So every week we did something different. And near the end, she said to me, you know, Mary Jean, there's a church that you might like. I said, what's that? And she said, First Church of Religious Science over in the Masonic Temple in Clayton, Missouri. So I got up I went to Mass on Saturday night because you covered your bases, you know, just to make sure. I'd go to Mass on Saturday, and then Sunday morning I'd get up, pull on my blue jeans, and I had a blue fox coat that I would put on so people would think I was dressed up for church. And I would go into this building, and I remember walking up a lot of steps to the main floor, and I went into this big, huge room and dark wooden paneling, and here were these people talking about stuff that I had never heard of. Some of the things that stood out. God is a loving, creative intelligence that is in everything. And I never heard of it that way. That means this energy is in me. I always thought it was out there, but I never quite got it was in me. I connect with that energy through my consciousness. I didn't even know what consciousness meant. So that was like a really new word to me. Some of you may remember your first journey into this spiritual philosophy. There's a power in my word. I create my life. I went, wow, I have some power. And then another one was, there is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. Those are just some of the beginning things that these different ministers, every couple of years I had a new one, would say to us, and I would ponder them. It was so different from anything I said before. There's a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. Within you is that energy, that life itself. How many of you had ever heard this prior to coming into a metaphysical church? You know, maybe nowadays with Wayne Dyer and some of the other spiritual teachers have been covering the globe with their teaching. But in 1972, Seth Speaks was a big one. And World Beyond Worlds with Montgomery was a big one. Edgar Casey was big. But they did... Shirley MacLaine, well, she was a little bit later than 72. I mean, so there was just minute ideas of this coming onto this planet in a big way. But when I found and started reading Dr. Ernest Holmes, the Science of Mind textbook, it literally changed my life. I knew that I was guided to greater good. My affirmations that I began putting all over the mirrors and all over the house was, I am worthy. When you're in an abused relationship, you begin wondering, are you worthy? Can you really do anything when they've told you you can't? The power of God is within me. That would be everywhere. I would go into work and I would take the Science of Mind magazine and I would read every day. I'd get to my desk, I'd sit down, and I would read the thought for the day in the back of the magazine. And then I would put it away and start working. It became my touchstone to be able to remember the truth of who I am. It reminds me of the story of this man. He was walking down the street, and there was a beggar that said, "Sir, will you help me?" The man said, "I have nothing to give you. What are you sitting on?" He says, "Oh, this old box. I've been sitting here for 30 years collecting money just so I can eat." The man said, "Why don't you open the box?" "Oh, this old box?" So both of them together pried open the box. And inside the box, it was filled with gold. And the man was like astonished. And that's exactly the way I felt when I began learning the nuts and bolts of this teaching. I felt like I had opened a box of gold. That no matter what was going on in my life, greater good was unfolding. I wasn't stuck. I wasn't a victim. But so often in life, we've thought we were a victim. Anybody out there think you were a victim at one point? Yeah. Life is doing it to me. No, life is doing it through me. So it's like Jesus' words came back so profound. It's done unto you as you believe. But you know what? I didn't know I could change my belief. I didn't know that I had the opportunity to think differently and it would affect my world. I thought you just accepted what everyone told you and that's what you believe. I accepted what the Catholic Church told me. I accepted what my parents told me, what society told me. And it was a huge awakening when in the Center for Spiritual Living, I learned that I have choice about what I want to be aware of. Do I want to be aware of things that make me miserable? How many of you ever focus on something that makes you miserable? And you know it's making you miserable, and you do it anyway. Why? Because we've forgotten that within us is that gemstone, is that gold, is that power. So this month is all about the nuts and bolts of our teaching. How do we learn what consciousness is? It's all your thoughts and your beliefs and your attitudes and the way you look at life in the relative form inside of us is part of your consciousness. But the greater consciousness, when you connect to it, is about oneness. The greater consciousness is filled with love and is filled with oneness. If I could take you on a journey with me, what we would do is leave all these thoughts and we move into this space that's just pure love. And know that this pure love is always guiding you. This pure love is greater than any thought you can ever have. And this love is so magnificent. You know, I think one of the reasons, because I've had some spiritual experiences, I don't have a fear of death. Because I know from those experiences that we are part of something that is so magnificent. And it doesn't end on this plane. It continues on. We don't like just drop it. That energy that we are, that love that we are, expands and goes with us. So whenever I'm blessing my good friends that have moved on, like Claire and Kim and my family, I just know that they are in a place filled with light and love. So today a lot of people are really scared. Have you noticed that? There's a lot of fear going on. Fear of a disease that could make us sick. It could. Fear of a disease that could move us on to the next experience. It could. But instead of fearing it, what if we bless this experience? That something greater is unfolding in my life and in your life and in your friend's life, in your family's life. You know, I know my brother that passed away a few weeks ago is in a better place. I know that this experience of learning continues beyond our eyes. Dr. Johnny Coleman, who was the minister in Chicago when Larry and I lived there, and Johnny Coleman was this amazing, amazing lady. And she had a congregation of about 6,000 people. And she was in South Chicago, and she was incredible. And we would go there, and Johnny was this magnificent speaker and being. She was African American. She started her congregation around her kitchen table with 8 people. She began teaching them how to apply for a job, how to dress, how to take care of themselves, how to be a benefit to society. And the people in that congregation achieved amazing things because they went there and listened to her. And she said, within you is that power of God. Within you is that spark. Within you is something greater wanting to be revealed. And how you live and how you treat other people, that will make a difference in your life. Now, these people were dressed to the nines. So one of the things I always do is sit by a really well-dressed woman and say, where do you buy your clothes? So that's where I would shop in Chicago, where they bought their clothes. But she always said that thing that is in you that is so powerful is that thing that allows you to grow and expand. She has a special saying that I was looking for that I always repeated right now. I have forgotten what she said, but she said, oh, this is what she said. I found it. This stuff works if you work it. And that was her affirmation. This stuff works if you work it. See, sometimes we expect this stuff to work without putting in any effort, right? But this stuff works if you work it. And even Dr. Ernest Holmes says you have to have that awareness and you have to put it into action. You can't sit around wishing. How many of you made New Year's resolutions that kind of feel like you're wishing something different might happen? One of the things, I stopped actually making New Year's resolutions. I make New Year's resolution intentions. Because an intention is much more powerful than writing down a goal. Because when you write down a goal, if you don't do it in the time frame you want to do it in, you're judgmental. Anybody experience that? I must have done it wrong. I must not be good enough. Oh my God, I'll never get that because I didn't get that goal in my time frame. But if I have an intention to surrender my life to that greater power, I mean so deep that you can feel it through every cell of your body, that greater power is guiding me to something better. Every time something comes up in our life, like a couple of weeks ago, the people heading our claim with the fire said, well, we think you have to be out of here March 3rd because the house will be done. Now, I don't know if any of you are builders, but we have only studs in that house. We have no permits because they can't decide on how they should rebuild it back. There is nothing done to it. They want to change out some of the things in the ceiling, and there's no heat, there's no electricity, and they think they're going to get it done by March 3rd and we're going to move. And if they didn't tell the apartment complex that we can stay longer, the apartment complex will make us move March 3rd. So I was fretting about it for a while because I did not want to pack up and move somewhere else because I knew the house would not be done. And so instead, Larry and I said, let's just put it in prayer. Let's just release it to that divine energy that has taken care of us from the moment we've been born and allow it to decide what's going to happen. Within 24 hours, the insurance company called and said, well, we've extended your lease another month and we'll go month to month until it's finished. You know what a relief that was? Not having to move somewhere until we get ready for the house to come in. People that have looked at the house said this may be a year to rebuild. Now, I know really nothing about rebuilding, but I wouldn't mind being in an apartment with a hot tub and a swimming pool for a year. It's a vacation once it gets warm again. But there is a power that does respond to us. In fact, that power is so powerful. Last year, I packed up a lot of my Christmas stuff, and I actually gave it to the church and put it downstairs because I said, next year, we're going to be in an apartment. I'm not going to need all this stuff. And guess what? We are in an apartment. So I got to borrow back some of the things so I had something in the apartment. Our word is powerful. It's very powerful. And I didn't know how. The thing about using this truth, Dr. Holmes in this thing called You, which is really such a neat little book. I think this thing called You, I think everyone should own one of these. We have about 3 of them in the bookstore. It is so cool. There's a lot of you can open it and there's a prayer. You can open it to another page and there's I believe with absolute conviction that my word will not return unto me void. And a little prayer that goes with it. It's one of those things I keep by my bed, or I did when I had this book. Right now I just borrowed it from the bookstore. My books have not been returned yet after the fire. But it's one of those that you can open it up and remember who you are. And then you close it and you pick up your journal and you write down 3 things you're grateful for. So you begin a spiritual practice. So one of the things he says in this book is to give your intention to the universe, but do not outline how it's going to happen. He says, for instance, you might plant seeds or whatever you plant for a tomato plant. Do they come out of seeds or eventually? I've only planted them with a plant. So you plant them with seeds, and he says, just let it grow. Let the universe take care of it. Let nature take care of that tomato plant. So your intention is to have tomatoes, right? He said, you don't have to outline how many leaves are going to be on that tomato bush. You don't have to outline how many tomatoes you're going to get. He said, you just have to know what it is that you have the intention for. So this year in 2021, now that I'm legal, I like that. This is my legal year to begin even going deeper into the Spirit. To live at all times with that goosebumpy, I'm going to cry feeling that says there is one power and it's my life. At such a deep level. The theme for the Center for Spiritual Living all over the world this year is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. So we decided we don't always take the same theme as all the churches all of them don't either, but this year we decided to take the theme that a lot of churches around the world are using for their theme, which is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And allow that to just live within us, to be something greater than we ever dreamed possible. Because the journey we're on may have some ups and downs. It may have some bumps. Dr. Ernest Holmes doesn't say put your head in the sand, but just realize it's part of the unfoldment. Don't stop with what's happening and say, oh my God, this is horrible. It's just part of spirit unfolding for greater good. Everything is not good, but it all leads to greater good. Do you see that difference? It's all leading to greater good. So that's our first lesson in the nuts and bolts of this teaching. And every week this month, we'll be going over different aspects. So go out and use what you learned today. What sticks with you from today that you can take with you? What? Joy and gratitude. Put it in prayer. It works if you work it. We're all a gym. Yes. So live with these ideas this week. No matter what you hear, no matter what is surrounding you, know that that divine presence, that power is your very life. The affirmation that we're doing this month is there is one life. This life is perfect. This life is God. This life is my life now. I'm going to have us say this together. There is one life. This life is perfect. This life is God. This life is my life now. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Tony, come on down. Tony's going to come on down so that we can remember that part of this whole experience is the ability to give. That's one of the things that I was taught. We'll talk about that later on this month. It was a huge lesson for me because I didn't know about giving. Growing up Catholic, you had little envelopes and you put a dime in, and thought you were keeping the Sistine Chapel clean. I mean, I was never taught about prosperity is a belief, and it's knowing that you can never outgive God. And that whatever you give is good and comes back multiplied, pressed down and running over. So I bless each one of us to our highest and greatest good. I bless all the people that are right now sending money in or pressing a link that says donate now and are giving, because in the beginning of the year you begin giving so that you can have all the returns continuously coming to you the rest of the year. So today is a good day to give. I bless your gift, knowing it returns to you in many, many different ways. And so I let it be. Amen. Thank you. And now we have our duo, our choir, our duo. Tim and Deborah and Joni and Carla and Carla. I think Tim swears to the gals.
T2G.
Tim swears to the gals. Perfect.
Fabulous Five, I like it. Fabulous Five. It's a song written by Johnny Nash, who died recently. Great song. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Looked all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue I can see clearly now the rain is gone. In my way, gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. I can see, I can feel, it's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Oh, everyone, gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I can see clearly now. Thank you.
Thank you. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Oh, I love it. I love having our choir. Yay! The Fabulous Five. But Tim, stay there 1 second. Tim's birthday was Saturday. Yesterday. Let's give Tim happy birthday.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Tim.
It was the 40th anniversary of my 21st birthday.
All right. Happy birthday.
Let's sing happy birthday.
1 second. Not yet.
Okay.
Because Sherry Lisa's birthday was Friday. Happy birthday, Sherry.
Happy birthday.
And Larry's birthday is this coming Thursday. And Joni, what day? The 13th. Okay, Joni's another January birthday. And Pam, who isn't here today, her birthday is Friday. We have a lot of January people. So we can do a happy birthday to all of them.
All right, everybody, please join in for everyone whose birthday's in January. Sherry, Tim, everyone, Larry. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everyone. Happy birthday to you. One more time. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
All right. Thank you. That's so fun. We don't remember to do this every month, but I love it. If someone would remind me, we would do happy birthday every month to everyone. So let's just take a moment, though, and go move into prayer. And this is the time that if there's something or somebody that is on your mind and you would like prayer to remember the truth of a friend, a loved one, this is the time. Just call out their name. Let's just remember their wholeness right now. Jenny and Jerry. Not your own name. Mary Jean. So that we can remember the truth. That power and presence, that one energy, that one life, that one consciousness is my life and your life right now. There's no division, there's only the one. There's that one intelligence that's guiding us to greater good. If we can let go of our limiting thoughts, if we can let go of any judgmental thoughts, if we can let go of any thoughts of fear, we can move into knowing that path of spirit is our path. What we're looking for, we're looking with. Because that divine moves and expresses and has its being as each one of us. Imagine that power, that gemstone that lights up within you, that gold that you are, that divine goddess or God that you are, the divine image that's made in the image and likeness of love and truth and beauty, connection of spirit. So I know that whatever we need to know, whatever intention we need to hold for a fabulous 2021 to unfold, that we now accept that. We now ponder it. We now journal it every single night. That this is the year we hold the intention of remembering who we are. That we may have new spiritual practices. Or we recommit to our old one. That intention of going deeper with a spiritual practice. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. For I know that that power of love is what has drawn us to this teaching. The power of possibilities. The power of intention. I know so many things that we've learned in this center and in these teaching. We learned how to volunteer and give of ourselves and our service to others. Because that's the way we show that there's only God. We've learned how to give from our abundance, and that's how we allow ourselves to be more abundant. We allow ourselves to bask in the wonderment of this world, seeing the power of good in each and every one of us. Seeing that power that's unfolding beyond our sight. for whatever reason we don't know how things are going or how they're turning out. We don't have to know all that. We just have to know that right where we are is that divine consciousness moving us forward for greater good. So as we know it, we use it. So I accept for each one of us that we are empowered to remember who we are, that we are empowered to move forth with this knowledge and to create a world that works for everyone. I know that we live from this timeless wisdom that says, I and the Father are one. The timeless wisdom that says God is love and we're made in the image and likeness of that. The timeless wisdom that says it's done unto you as you believe. And we have an evolutionary vision this year that we evolve beyond anything we've known in the past. We evolve to a greater life, a greater universe, a greater planet. We allow that power to take over our life, to guide us, guard us, direct us. I bless each one of us to our highest and greatest good. And so I let it be. And as we say together, and so it is. Thank you, Sherry. I love it. There's one life. This life is perfect. This life is God. This life is my life now. That's the truth of all of us. And now for our closing song.
There is only love.
There is only love.
Everyone, we're going to sing 3 verses. There is a 3rd verse. Feel free to join in, please.
You want to stand?
Let's stand.
What?
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I think I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. And I know this voice of love, it is singing through my life. It is all I am, every part of me. It is all I choose to be. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that
let's just thank Tim and Tim. Okay. Carla, Joni, and Diva Deborah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. And just have a wonderful week. Begin the new year with recognizing the power that you hold, the power you are, and